So for anyone who is, or who watched the Wonders of Sorcery video, and especially the one where I mentioned I downloaded 3 new campaigns, and I would want to try them out, because they look interesting, I now want to explain why do I not want to play any single one of them, and I hope that you will sort of understand. Now, let me go on and explain my points. So you got this campaign, it's called Crypt Robbers. It has an interesting plot. You have a Dark Ranger. That's what I understand from the mission 1. I haven't played it to the end, but I think I played enough where I can, up to a point where I can decide whether I want to keep playing this or not. You are a Dark Ranger. You steal a heart of a Crypt Lord, and you're trying to escape. Killing anything takes ages, because the only units you encounter are undead or neutrals with high health. Now, you are a Crypt Lord, and you're trying to catch this Dark Ranger which stole your heart. See what I'm getting at? This campaign seems to be going in a direction where you play, just like in Wonders of Sorcery, you play as one side and then the other that's opposing it, which, if it's a recurring feature, can be very interesting. It can spice up the campaign. But I mean, like, the story is there, the dialogues are there, but based on mission 1, the mission 1 is just slow, and it doesn't look like much fun. And it doesn't play like fun, because as said, killing anything takes ages. I know that gets better as the time goes on, because you gain levels, you find equipment for your heroes, but I wouldn't put this as my favorite. That's the way I'm gonna put it. Next is, where is it? This one. It's essentially a Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos Undead campaign with different tech trees. With a different tech tree just for the player, abilities just for the player, and models. That applies to everyone, you and the enemies. The thing this campaign tries to do is it takes already finished lore of the Reign of Chaos campaign, complete with voice acting from Blizzard. And what it tries to do is, it elevates Arthas and spellcasters quite high. It's like... Let me go ahead and show you the first mission. I didn't want to show the first mission of the Grave Robbers because there's a super long cinematic you cannot skip. So what this campaign is trying to do is, it focuses on Arthas and spellcasters. It elevates them in power because, like, look, a ghoul has 150 health, 8 to 10 damage. You can train it from Necropolis, and it also takes 1 supply.
What is it?
Fine,
now?
okay, I can get behind that.
At last.
But then you have Necromancers, which summon these skeletons, which are permanent. You can have up to 4 per Necromancer. And they got upgrades like Bone Shell, reduces all damage by 12. And they also have Bone Runes, which make them immune to certain spells. And then you look at the ghoul and think, why is it even here? You could also have just Acolytes gathering wood.
Speak, fool.
But then you look at Arthas. Arthas, by the way, has 11 spells. All of them are active, by the way. Or most of them? I think like 8 or 9 of them are active. So, the way it works is, this is a set of abilities, this is a set of abilities, this is a set of abilities, and this is an ability on its own. Death Coil level 1 costs 25 mana, completely reasonable. Unholy Plague. Damage over time to enemies, and if they die, they become zombies. And Animate Dead. It's like, this campaign is trying to make Arthas as powerful as he later is portrayed to be. I have no problem with that. In World of Warcraft, he's super powerful, and sure. I don't mind this narrative. I don't mind the narrative of Arthas became very powerful after the conclusion of the human campaign of Reign of Chaos, and he's now on a rampage to kill many denizens of Lordaeron, and to spread the scourge as far as he can. I think I like this narrative better than what Blizzard has done with Arthas, where he needs the support of ghouls, otherwise he dies to footmen, or he never will if you play carefully with just Arthas. But my point is, I can't see where this campaign is coming from. I like the idea, but I do not know if it would be fun to watch. So if you say yes, I may or may not decide to record this. I'm saying may or may not because I will leave a poll in the description for you to vote. And the last campaign, which is the craziest, and I can sort of see why is it like that. Just let me scroll down. It's a Night Elf campaign, at least from the looks of it. I can't see where the campaign is coming from as well, because it seems to be one of the... It is a Asian campaign that was translated into English. Now what the campaign tries to do is... I'm doing this video for the third time because I wasn't satisfied with how it turned out the first two times. I looked up the project's page, tried to get some more opinions, tried to gather some more information, and I also tried to get the author's name correctly. It's Flower Fairy, and the Flower Fairy is translation from the Asian, so the creator is of Asian origin, and presumably created this in Asian language. I do not know if Chinese or Japanese, that's why I'm saying Asian in general. What this campaign does is it takes the Warcraft lore and changes it in a fundamental way. I have no problem with that. You got humans and the ruler of humans, and the ruler wants to establish peace. There's like fights going on with elves. You got night elves, but you also have blood elves. So okay, existing at the same time, fine. So the king is then told by a mage of his that the mage found out about a fountain which, if his soldiers drink from it, they'll be much more powerful and they'll be able to bring peace, because they'll subjugate anyone. Orcs find out that humans are now really powerful, so they band together with Gul'dan and warlocks. It's not said it's Gul'dan, but he looks like Gul'dan, so... And there are warlocks, and it's called, like, Dark Witchery or something? In order to be able to stand up to the humans, just to be equal in power. Then the Dreadlord is killed, and because of that, both sides lose some power, because apparently the warlocks and such also were using demon blood. Fine. And then it's explained that, or then it's established that humans won because of superior weaponry, and that orcs go off to Outland. Fine. Nothing wrong with that. But based on this, you might think, wow, well, it sounds okay. And if it's 20 missions long, as you could see, some of which are interludes and cinematics, so I would say like 12, 13, maybe 15 playable missions. Why don't you just start recording that? It sounds interesting. I mean, elves have been here many times before, but this sounds unique, and I would agree. But I would also disagree because you don't know the first half of the story that I'm telling you about this campaign, where Maiev starts off as a male, then goes to a president of Dalaran to be turned into a female, then is in a class with Arthas, and is bullied by Balnazar the Dreadlord, and also by McFeridon, who I don't know if he's the school's principal or what, because at that point I just went off to grab a yogurt. It's like... Look, I'm on board with the plot twist and the story change of the Warcraft's lore. That there was a Dreadlord and that humans had demon blood and whatever. But what's the reason for switching Maiev from a female into a male for the purposes of the story, so that she can switch back to a female? Like, what's the appeal? I can't wrap my head around it. I do not understand. And that's what I think the campaign is trying to do. It's sort of a cultural exchange. Because, you know, the campaign is coming from Asian continent. Or Asian part of the world, sorry, not necessarily continent. So, or whatever. let me Google. Is Asia fucking A? Yes, continent, from the continent of Asia. So it's like, I do understand where this is coming from, and I do understand what it's trying to do. It's trying to interpret its story, but as a European, I'm not used to gender switch artworks, gender switch campaigns in Warcraft, gender switch, I don't know, movies? Is that even a thing? Or gender switching characters in general? It's like, I'm not used to this. And I'm going into deep shit once again. It feels like I'm gonna be redoing this for the 4th time. So to close it off, I want to say that I don't have a problem with playing this campaign, so long as I won't be forced to sit through too many of the gender discussions. Because as you could see, if you're not watching the video, if you're just listening to it by any chance, if you rewind back and watch this cinematic, it is mentioned, it seems it will be mentioned every now and then, because the gender switching is kept a secret, apparently.
Our allies' town
Thing is, this campaign seems to be of the highest gameplay quality, aesthetics, and features and such. The AI seems to be very intelligent, and the campaign seems to be more on par with, difficulty-wise at least, with the sort of Legends of Arcane-ish. So, but I got such a fucking major problem with the lore. Like, what's the point? Why make Maiev a male, even though she is originally a female, to be able to make her female again? It's like, what? Why would you do that? What's the appeal? It's the same like with needles. Needles in anime, I don't... I'll just stop here, because otherwise I'm gonna get into deep shit. And I'll remake this for the 4th time. I'll leave a poll in the description. Which one would you want to see? Or if you would want to see, like, more Wonders of Sorceria. Or I'm gonna add 5th option, if you would want to see the Knoll campaign, which has already been recorded. So, I guess I'll see you next time, whatever the campaign may be. Because I don't think I can decide this on my own. It's like, why the gender swap, please?